Five lines draw people into them. People, if you are a five line, people are intuitively drawn to you because there's something that they think that you can provide to them. And with that comes lots of expectations. So they come to you expecting something very, very specific, right? So they're projecting that onto you. Once they get that thing, either you have met their expectations, in which case you become their hero, their savior, or you didn't. And if you don't meet their expectations, you become the villain of their story. Welcome to the Go Inspire podcast, where we dive deep into everything human design. You'll find this podcast tailored especially for the independent, spiritually aware, free spirit, excited to learn, grow, and experiment their way to their best life. As a lifelong adventure, my empathetic, purpose-driven style is here to help you tackle life's problems, make them more fun, and have you feeling like you have an awkward best friend that just gets you. Join me for each episode to decode your human design chart, talk lifestyle, parenting, relationships, and, well, how to be more unapologetically you. Oh, hey, good morning. I'm back with another episode for you this week. And man, there's so much that's happened this week that I'm so looking forward to talking through with you. Today on the podcast, we're going to talk about five lines. So if you have a five line in your human design, means you could be a 5-1, 5-2, 3-5, 2-5. I'm a 3-5. So we're going to talk about five lines a little bit. We're going to talk about women working in male-dominated fields. We're going to talk about the revolution that I see for this year and women in leadership positions. But I want to start talking about the five line first. So if you are a five line, the way that your five line energy operates, there's a couple key things that you need to know. Number one, five lines have a projection field. So if you are a five line, you have this almost like seductive quality about you. People are drawn to you. Once upon a time, before I knew I was a five line, I kept having the same meditation. And I would be laying in Savasana at the end of my yoga class. And in Savasana, I would almost have this visualization that would just kind of come without me having to summon it. But in the visualization, I was this like bright yellow light. I was kind of floating through this valley. So I had a healer of sorts that I had this session with, and I was telling them about this meditation. And they said, oh, that makes perfect sense. People are drawn to you. And she said, is it uncommon that people just kind of leave your life? I'm like, actually, that's really funny. They do. She said, because they got what they needed from you. I was like, what does that even mean? And the way that she explained it at the time was spot on for what a five line is. Five lines draw people into them. People, if you are a five line, people are intuitively drawn to you because there's something that they think that you can provide to them. And with that comes lots of expectations. So they come to you expecting something very, very specific, right? So they're projecting that onto you. Once they get that thing, either you have met their expectations, in which case you become their hero, their savior, or you didn't. And if you don't meet their expectations, you become the villain of their story. And you can go from hero to villain in a red hot second. Okay, it can flip. But, in the interim, if you're the hero, they put you up on a pedestal. It could feel really, really, really good. So something to be very cognizant of if you are a five line. So I've experienced this in my life before I knew I was a five line, feeling the weight of people's projections and their expectations and not understanding why they felt like I should be compelled to do whatever the thing is that they wanted or needed. So if you're a five line, it's really imperative that before you execute on these expectations, before you help people with these things that they're looking for, before you just do for others, that you are moving with your strategy and authority, that you are doing things that are aligned to you and not doing them for the sake of resolving this projection field. And it may come with people being upset. It may come with people, making you out to be the villain. They're going to do that anyway. So finding a way to find peace in all of that is really critical. So all of this is entirely relevant because I had something come up recently. There was a point in time where, well, still, I work in a very male-dominated industry. I have since college, really. And, whether that's insurance or mortgages or different things, right? These male-dominated industries, as a woman, come with their own set of projections, their own set of expectations. People expect very specific things out of you because they expect you to behave in the way that the industry does, act in the way the industry always has, and that's been male dominated. And, you know, here's the thing. I feel very deeply that we are moving away from being a male dominated society. The thing is, as women, we have been given permission of sorts to operate in these arenas, so long as we operate in a male dominated way, so long as we behave by those sets of rules. But the thing is, when you do that, when I have done that, it's almost like I'm limping along. Sure, I've been very successful in my career, but what could have been possible if I had access to my entire energy, my entire spirit, my entire set of gifts? It's crazy. I sat back and thought about that this week. And as I'm, every day moving more and more into my feminine energy, to sitting in that power, it is crazy to me. It almost has these flavors and indicators of the 5 line, right? People don't like it. It's not what they're used to, but it feels so good to sit in feminine energy. Your feminine energy is soft, it's caring, it's welcoming, it's almost mothering. It is compassionate and empathetic and knowing and does things with your best interest at the forefront. So I bring all of these things to you because I've also had conversations with my clients recently, and something came up in conversation that I thought was very interesting, which is there's been this push in the last couple of years to make certain fields more accessible or accepting for women. And this particular client of mine is in a male dominated industry. And she was saying, what's really funny is that um, they make it they make it easier for you to enter. They expect that you you don't push back. And she gave a really interesting example, which is there's a seed that was brought over from somewhere in Europe, I think Germany, and they tried to plant this seed in Texas, and it just wouldn't grow. And they were just baffled. They were baffled because it's a really strong seed in Germany. They use it a lot. And they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't figure it out. Finally, they tested the pH of the soil. And come to find out, the pH of that soil would not allow the seed to grow. So profound. When they changed the pH of the soil, the seed grew like crazy. So my question then is, what is the pH of your environment? What's the vibe around you? Where have you planted yourself and not been able to grow? Listening to this, I think it is entirely fair to say we as women cannot expect them to create the environment for us to thrive. We can expect them to create this feminine field, right? Especially as men. That's asking them to tap an energy that is not intuitive for them. We can't expect them to create the environment for us if we are not willing to reintroduce ourselves to our feminine power and then sit in it comfortably. There's this book from Oprah Winfrey that I've read a bazillion times. And in the book, she says, you got to know like you know, like you know. What I know for sure. What do you know for sure about yourself on the inside that you're not willing to tell other people about, that you're scared to show? Where are you limiting yourself? I will tell you, I'm done limiting myself. I'm done not sitting in my feminine power. I'm done trying to operate in a masculine way in male-dominated arenas. If I know something because I know it intuitively, I'm not gonna run around chasing the data for somebody else to prove it to them. I don't need to prove to them what I already know. So, knowing that we are on the cusp of a big shift, knowing that we're coming into more women-led leadership. Do you lead your own company? Do you have your own business? Are you sitting in your feminine power to lead that business? Maybe you don't have a business, but it's your home. Are you leading your home from your feminine energy, from your biggest source of power? This year, I am working with incredible women, incredible women who are ready to sit in their feminine power. They're ready to tip the scales, to do really big things that are compassionate, really big things that are authentic, really big things that are in the best interest of others, but also of themselves. Are you? Are you ready to sit in your power, in your home, in your marriage, in your quiet moments with yourself, in your business? If you are, I'd love to hear from you. And you can send me a message at alignment@goinspirecoaching.com. I would love to hear how you're sitting in your power. I have a handful of things that I am so close to bringing to you. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to help you walk in your power. I'm just so excited. It just like feels like it's just coming out of my skin. I can't wait. I'm so excited to help you sit in your power, whether that's in your business, in your home, or just with yourself. So that was a lot for this week, but we're going to keep going deep. And until next time, I hope that you feel inspired to live your best life. Talk to you soon. I hope today's show resonated with you. If you want to be first to hear the next shows, make sure you follow the Go Inspire podcast. Check out goinspirecoaching.com for show notes and your free human design chart. And I'll catch you next time.